can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me, checking me, but his game is kinda weak, and I know that he cannot approach me, cause I'm looking like glass and he's looking like trash. Can't get with a deadbeat ass. Oh no, I don't want your number, no, I don't wanna give you mine, and no, I don't wanna meet you nowhere, no, don't want none of your time, no.
To hate Andrew Anderson, stating truth that just can't make. Got a podcast like a punch right to your face. College sports villain, taking it over the place. I bring the facts whether you like it or not, dropping truth bombs, giving it all I got. They call me a villain, well, I wear that badge with pride. Nothing but secrets they try to hide.
Welcome to College Sports Villains, man. What an episode. I knew it was going to be big. We already have 132 people watching. I can't thank you enough. The show's going to be fun, man. Just a little this, little that, little tit, little tat. You know what I'm saying? Like, the college football season's over. Ohio State are your national champions. What's great about that is that was my preseason pick to win the national championship. You can go back, get receipts on the show before the season started. I felt like they were going to be the best team in the nation, and woo, was I right. So anyway, I like to end the show with something, but I want to begin it. I want to begin the show with it today. John 3:16. Now, with that being said, let's introduce some of our co-hosts for the day. I got to find, like, we got so many of these intros now, but let's start with this one. James, what it do?
What it do, baby? What it do? Now, look, I just want to go out there and quote Ice Cube. I didn't just wake up, but he did to start his song. Just waking up, gotta thank God.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, sir. So, let's introduce our next co-host.
Turn like the face, keep you safe in the arms of the
Emily, how we doing?
Doing great.
Excellent. How was your day?
I was at work all day.
Hey, look, that's a blessing. So, I work where you work, so I get it. Still a blessing. So, with that being said, boy, let's bring a blast from the past. Somebody we ain't seen in a skinny minute up in Villains. And I tell you, this man is always welcome.
Drink in my cup, in my hand. Oh, from my youth, cause they know I'm the man. Oh, from my youth, cause they know I'm the man. Oh, from my youth, cause they know I'm the man. Drink in my cup, in my hand. Oh, from my youth, cause they know I'm the man. Oh, from my youth, cause they know I'm the man. Oh, from my youth, cause they know I'm the man.
Drink in my cup, in my hand. Blow on my dude, cause they know I'm the man. I'm in the VIP cause I'm very important. Unfortunately, I see some niggas I can't stand. So I step to them suckers and confronted them like I should. We can settle this now, we can settle this in the hood. So what y'all wanna do? I gotta.
It's Mac.
Let's go. Let's go. The Ohio State champions. Thank you. Let's go. This guy worth all the money.
Hey, soak it in. We got some big things. They are national champions. I told y'all they were going to be national champions before the season started. If you watch what Ohio State did in the offseason, spending $21.6 million on their roster, putting pieces into place, like that's a recipe for success. Hey, you're the best of the best at your position. Here's $5 million. Oh, I'm coming. And it worked. Like it worked like a charm, bro. They hoisted the trophy and they walked off. So, James, your team lost, but your team was in the national championship game. Your defense let you down a little. Your kicker missed some big kicks, but I told you he's prone to do that. He was 4 years at South Carolina. I love the guy, but like big kicks are not his forte. Even though he did kick you into the natty, that was a big kick too. And this show is going to be so much fun. We're still waiting on one more person. So, and I still got to do a brand new intro for this. I be so busy. Chris,
what is up, my people?
I am a little disappointed in this moment, Chris, because you and I had a private conversation and you said you were going to wear something and you were not wearing it. And I was really looking forward to it.
Oh, I can go get it.
Yeah, at some point, I want you to break that out, like maybe after commercial or something, because I was looking forward to that. Like, I'm the only one that knows, and I was so looking forward to it.
Game on.
Yes. Like, I've been thinking about that all week since you told me. I'm like, I cannot wait for this. Y'all, I ain't telling y'all nothing. Y'all just have to wait and see. How's it going, Chris?
Game on. Oh, by the way, speaking of game on, we fitting to drop 100.
So, I want to just go ahead and say something real quick, get it out of the way. South Carolina versus Florida. Florida, I think, is one of the best teams in the nation. Number 5, probably going to be number 1 by the time it's over. I really believe that. South Carolina led from the opening buzzer until the very last shot of the game. That is a fact. They led from the first bucket all the way to the last bucket. Florida hit a shot and won the game. They led the entire game.
Yep.
Crazy.
Home court, man. It's wild.
I mean, life of a Gamecock fan, bro. I made this meme, I think, like 2 years ago because I had to dig deep when I was going through my college sports villains today. I made it in like 2022 or something.
So what people don't understand, South Carolina's played 2 top 5 teams in the last 2 weeks and taken both of them to the wire.
Yep. And lost them both because our coach is an ass. But I'm not advocating for Fire Parish yet, but these strange losses are starting to get real annoying really fast.
Yeah.
So I just want to throw that up there. So I want to go ahead and get this out of the way. I love it.
Right in the face.
Hey, you hear play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That is
Yep.
He literally asked for it too.
he literally asked for it. He was
Yeah. Got him right in the face, too. Pow.
he did, and you know what? Fuck that guy. What a dumb thing to do. I mean, like, whether you believe in the cause or whatever the deal is, like punching a car or a vehicle with a water cannon is probably the epitome of stupidity. I mean,
Yes.
I shudder to think like what he do for a living. Probably nothing. Probably welfare.
Yeah, it looks that way.
So I want to get this out of the way first. And the question that I'm asking, I love to see all y'all on here. I love it. It's been a while since we had all y'all on here. I'm digging it. So the question that I'm asking is not who is going to win. The question I'm asking is who do you think deserves to win? Start with you, Chris. And this is the final. This is the finalist right here, by the way, released today.
Who I think deserves to win is Joe Burrow, because what he did with that team is absolutely retarded. Pardon my choice of words there. What he did with that team is offensively is out of this world. So I personally think Joe Burrow, because without Joe Burrow, what is Cincinnati? They're nothing.
So I'm not going to disagree with you as far as so when you're a quarterback coming off a major injury and you're putting up 31.6 points a game and you don't have a winning record, that ain't your fucking fault. Period. Are you wanting to plug this? Hold on. Are you wanting to plug it? Plug it.
This right here, I see them on TikTok and everywhere else. They're fucking amazing. They're grapes. They're just sour grapes.
Ooh.
All right. A little bag of death. I love it. Yeah, highly allergic to grapes over here. But yeah. Little bag of death for me. But you know what? That's hard to argue. Like I won't even give retort. So, like, Chris, like you're different today, man. Like there was supposed to be crazy talk from the beginning, and there wasn't. I love it. Terry, what's up? So yeah, the topic tonight, Josh Allen.
What's up, Terry?
Josh Allen is I can't wait. Josh Allen is a good candidate as well. Terry, he did awesome. James, looking at this graphic, who do you think deserves to win?
Oh boy. I mean, right now, like I got an argument for basically the first three people on this list out of the five that are on here. Look, Burrow, man, he was really helping the Bengals put up 30 plus points a game when, you know, he had the offensive line that he had the receivers that he had. Basically, his go-to guy was Jamar Chase, and the freaking defense couldn't show up. Oh my God, he's arguably got the best case right now. Saquon Barkley, look, Eagles fans can say all they want. Oh, 2 years ago, we had Miles Sanders, we had Boston Scott, and we were still in the same place that we were at. Really? y'all are really willing to put those two running backs in the same echelon of Saquon Barkley, the same dude that led you, that is basically leading y'all to the fucking NFC Championship. And one of, if not the biggest reasons why you're going to the NFC Championship. Now, yes, the Eagles have, well, what is it, like a top 5 defense or the best defense in the league right now? There's no denying that. They have great weapons. They have Devontae Smith. They have A.J. Brown. But I'm telling you right now, Saquon Barkley is a bigger portion of the reason why they're in the NFC Championship. Because if they didn't have Saquon Barkley, they more than likely wouldn't be in the NFC Championship. And now on to Josh Allen. This dude has basically been playing with a chip on his shoulder. And it shows, especially when the Bills or the Chiefs came into Buffalo to play the Bills. Man, oh man, did it show. On top of that, the dude was still playing with the same chip on his shoulder that helped the Bills beat the Ravens. But at the end of the day, regardless of what happens, if the Bills move on, hey, great. If the Ravens, if the Eagles move on, hey, great. But at the end of the day, I'm more than likely going to have to give it to Josh Allen.
Oh yeah. I mean, Josh Allen is maybe on his way to winning Buffalo their first Super Bowl ever. Hard to argue with that. Emily,
Fourth walls of Buffalo. That's all I got to say.
Do you have somebody on here you think should win the MVP?
I honestly do not know.
Mommy, look.
I mean, it's really close.
That's a good argument right there.
Mommy.
So I'll go ahead and mute him because he's going to scream. But I love him. Yeah, Jaden Daniels should definitely win Rookie of the Year, but MVP, he means a lot to his team, but I wouldn't give him the MVP, just me. Matt, what about you?
I mean, see, look, if we're talking regular season MVP, I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson.
No
Like, he did exactly what everybody said he couldn't do. He sat back. He was a passer. Okay. He did it with his arm. 4 interceptions that, if you go back and watch, really aren't his fault. All right. He led in pretty much every other category as far as it matters for quarterbacks. For me, it was a no-brainer. If Saquon would have broke the record, then I would have said give it to Saquon. Saquon didn't break the record. Okay. And again, like I said, Josh Allen, it was a great season for Josh Allen, but again, if he would have had the numbers and had a season like this, no problem. I will give it to him. The defense is better than I thought they were at the beginning of the season. They definitely finished much better and stronger, but again, I'm just biased in this because bad coaching is the main reason why we lost that game.
And Mark Andrews?
No, bad coaching. Sorry. If Harbaugh doesn't go for it, takes the 3 points, right? Then turn around. You don't go for 2 points the first touchdown. You don't go for 2 points the second touchdown. That's 5 points, my man. How many points did we lose by? That's Josh Allen driving down at the end of the game instead of us. So that's that. Coaching is all the difference in the world. That's why we lost. I'm not blaming Mark Andrews. We shouldn't have been throwing the ball the first time he fumbled. We should have been running the ball. We're down 2 points and we're throwing the ball down the field. How much sense does that make? None. It's bad coaching.
So you've hated Harbaugh since I've known you. Like that's no secret, right? So I give you that. So Chris doesn't agree that Saquon Barkley belongs in this conversation. But so Chris's MVP is Joe Burrow. James has Josh Allen. You have Lamar Jackson. So while I'm certainly certainly believe Lamar Jackson was an X factor. But it's crazy talk to say Saquon Barkley didn't make the impact that he did. He didn't break the record, but he didn't play in the last game to get ready for the playoffs and all that. So I'm not penalizing him for that. Saquon Barkley was that dude this year, and I'm going to be maybe a little biased with this, but I'm sick and tired of this fucking being a quarterback award. Like, you can't tell me what Saquon Barkley did this year wasn't as good as what everybody else did this year. He look what he did in the rushing game. Look what he did for the Eagles. He meant as much to his team as any of these other people meant to their team. That's where I'm going to defend him. He meant as much to the Eagles as Josh Allen did to the Bills.
That's fair.
I'm going with Saquon Barkley. So, Cody agrees with me. Saquon Barkley. But this is where I would disagree with Cody on that. I mean, Lamar Jackson was the clear number 2. I mean, like the dude 26-4, bro. Like, that shit's impressive. Especially when you have no fucking defense, man. God, the Ravens, like, you blame your coach and I blame your defense. It was suspect all along. They couldn't make a stop when they needed to. And Harbaugh may be gone this year. I don't know.
Bro,
I mean,
at this point, I'm not sure. I would love to hear that. I would, but just because it's again now the media, everybody is saying what I've been saying the last fucking 5 goddamn years, and it's just like, how many rebuilds, how much more talent until we figure out it's not just the talent, it's the coaching.
Well, this is where I will defend Harbaugh a little bit. It's very hard to win in the NFL. It's very hard. And he seems to consistently be putting in deep playoff runs, so can't win them all.
Winning one playoff game is not a deep playoff run make.
Well, hang on.
So
Go ahead.
On the Harbaugh issue, remember there was a time when Brian Billick was making these runs every year and not winning championships. And there came a time where they had to move on from the coach. And they still had solid teams when they moved on from the coach. They've got the talent there to do it.
Yes.
And how many times you fail to get to win that championship, your window is only so big. You can't keep running it back and running it back and running it back without making changes. Somewhere you have to make a change. You're not going to get rid of Lamar Jackson. You're not going to get rid of Mark Andrews. You're not going to get rid of Isaiah Likely, or you're not going to get rid of those cats. So the move you have to make is in the coaching staff.
I agree totally. Like, let's go ahead and just name all the coaches in the NFL that have a Super Bowl title. Let's name one. I mean, outside of Andy Reid, name me one.
Oh, okay, but
I know he got fired.
In that same breath, what has John Harbaugh won since Ray Lewis retired?
Still won.
This is over a decade, bro. Over a decade. Okay, so you're talking five playoff wins.
All right.
5 total playoff wins.
Let
better than Mike Tomlin.
Let me rein you back in. Mike Tomlin is a great pitcher. Let me rein you back in real quick, Mac. So you have a Super Bowl. You go to the playoffs every fucking year, right? Every fucking year you go to the playoffs. Yes, no.
Not every year, but the last 4 years, yes.
And probably like 8 out of the last 10, right? If I'm not mistaken.
No. So from the year we won the Super Bowl for 5, it was 4 years in a row we didn't make the playoffs. We got knocked out by the Bengals every one of them fucking years, or the Steelers.
But you've been to the playoffs pretty consistently, wouldn't you say?
The last 4 years, yes.
But I mean, and 10 years ago you had a Super Bowl, right? I'm just hear me out, playing devil's advocate.
No, okay.
So true. All right. So now let me bring you to the perspective of a Falcons fan. So I'm trying to find that Super Bowl. We don't have one in franchise fucking history, but John Harbaugh does. Trying to find these playoff runs. We don't fucking have any, but John Harbaugh does. No, bro. Like, my heart does not bleed for you at all. Like, none over here on this side of the fence. Like, you know.
You see, that's how I feel when we talk fucking baseball, because it's like I've seen the Atlanta Braves win my whole life. I ain't never seen the Orioles win shit.
Well, yeah, look at the fucking division that they're in. They're in the hardest division in baseball.
Okay. Regardless, understood. But the whole thing is, it is just like this. Every year, it is proven more and more that it is. He's a great players coach. He is. But he is not a fucking coordinator coach. He was a special teams coach when he came here. Okay, and that's what he's always been. He's been a real good special teams guy. So outside of that, it's like always living and dying by the coordinators, when it's like, fuck that. If anything, the ownership should see we only have, another 5 years with Lamar. How are we going to get the most out of these years that we've already spent all this money on? The money is gone. We've already paid Lamar. So now let's get the most out of that we can. And I'm sorry, John Harbaugh just ain't doing it.
Hey, look, I'll say this. For the Philadelphia Eagles,
that was Ray Lewis. That was Ray Lewis and Joe Flacco. And I'll say this.
Hey, hold up.
Okay.
R.I.P. Jacoby Jones.
Yes. Okay. Jim Caldwell got so much credit for that fucking playoff run that he got a head coaching job with Detroit and went fucking busto. You want to know why? When they did the filming and it all came out, Joe Flacco was the one calling the fucking plays on the playoff run after we fired an offensive coordinator, Cam something. But yes. So it is just funny that the main reason Joe Flacco calling on one side, Ray Lewis doing the playoff run on the defense, did just enough to win. Harbaugh had, next to zero to do with that.
All right, so Mac is hurt and he's getting it out right now, and I'm good with it. I understand, but
so I just wanted to correct somebody on one thing real quick. The Orioles in the hardest division in baseball.
The AL East,
I present you Atlanta, Philadelphia, the New York Mets. Shut up.
So I too want to come back to both divisions are tough, man. They are. But I want to bring you back because you made a comment. You said, I ain't never seen the Braves lose. And granted, you haven't. You have not.
Listen. I'm talking about did they lose consistently for over 2 decades?
Right. I'm with you.
I seen them win in the 90s. I seen them win a little bit in the 2000s and then in the 2010s.
Right.
So I'm going to win a little bit.
I'm going somewhere with this. You have never seen the Braves. That is true. And you're like, because I said, you don't feel my pain as a Falcons fan. Right. And you don't. And you said, well, I don't feel your pain as an Orioles fan. But in your lifetime, in my lifetime, I became a baseball fan in 1984. And I will tell you, the Braves were the worst fucking baseball team that you have ever fucking seen from 84 to 90. That is.
Hey, speaking of the Braves, Billy Wagner going into the Hall of Fame.
They are. The Braves lost 112 fucking games in 1988. 112. I have seen the heartbreak. Every day we watched it. My grandma or my granddaddy, or depending on if I was at home or at my grandparents. The Braves game were on, bro. Let me tell you, that's why I'm diehard. Every fucking day of my life, that Braves game was on.
You could watch the Cubs on WGN and the Braves on WTS nightly.
Those are the only two things you can watch.
And make no mistake, it wasn't because Atlanta didn't have talent. They had a Hall of Famer playing for them, right? And Dale Murphy.
He's not a Hall of Famer. That's some bullshit, too. I just want to go ahead and throw it out that this man is not in the Hall of Fame, and it's a fucking travesty.
It is a travesty. That's a Hall of Famer right there. And
There's
I'll
a
say,
hell of a lot of travesties for certain baseball players.
Back MVP.
and I'll say this too: Andrew Jones getting left out. That's a bigger crime than Ichiro getting left out. I said what I said.
That's crazy talk. As a Braves fan, that's crazy talk, man. Ichiro meant more to baseball than Andrew Jones did. And I'm a huge advocate of Andrew Jones getting in the Hall of Fame because he deserves to be there, no doubt.
So they both had 15 Gold Glove awards. Jones was better at the plate.
Ichiro get in?
Yes.
Jones was better at the plate.
He did, but he didn't get in unanimously.
And
I mean, whatever. I mean,
Jones
I
also
guess
had
that means something.
double
to
the
you.
home runs.
I don't give a fuck. Is his bus going to be in Cooperstown? Yes, and that's all that matters.
So
that's all that fucking matters.
So Andrew Jones had twice as many home runs as Ichiro. Ichiro wasn't a power hitter. Now do batting average, Chris.
Only time Ichiro was within shouting distance of 200 was his last and final year in 2019.
But wait a minute. Let's circle back. Dale Murphy deserves to be there. He was back-to-back MVP. He was a back-to-back MVP on the worst team in baseball. I need you to fathom what I just told you. 90-plus losses in back-to-back years, and he was the fucking league MVP. Can't tell me that motherfucker don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. That's crazy talk.
What position?
He played catcher to start with, and then he played right field, and that's where he won his MVPs, and he went to center field.
See, and think about Dale Murphy doing that, and then look at Ryan Sandberg playing second base for the Cubs and losing just as much, just as long.
They didn't lose as much as the Braves, but they didn't win. So I just wanted to bring that up. I love talking baseball. I'm really thinking about changing the name of the show to Sports Villains because I like to talk some other stuff. But
hell yeah. Hey, that's what Friday's for, baby.
That is true. So I want to bring this up before we go to commercial break. So I want to start with you, Matt. Like, I know you don't know a lot about college, right? You just really started delving in this year. And by the way, college football fun as fuck, ain't it, Mac? Ain't it, Mac?
UK. I can answer this question real quick. UK, University of Kentucky. Shit, that was easy.
So this is per conference.
And you know, and out of all the graphics that I see, I know it's the University of Kentucky, and all the boards and everything that I watch, and all the comments that I read, and all the shit that people post and I share and I look at, yeah, every year. But
Emily agrees with you on this, by the way, as far as Kentucky.
I mean, as far as basketball goes, I'll go ahead and agree to
football too this year. I heard a whole bunch of rah-rah about them too.
Yes, James. Yes. Before the season, every single year over the past 10 years, Kentucky fans are like, we're going to the playoffs. We're gonna have 11 wins. Unrealistic for their football program. I agree 100%, Mac. Completely unrealistic.
Their fans were talking about 10-2 this year.
Yeah. 10-2.
So let me get this out of the way real quick. Pardon my language of choice, but there's one graphic on here I have to address. Fuck you, North Carolina State, and the horse you rode in here. You can take your dogs back out to the damn pasture and chase some cows with it. I hate North Carolina State just as much as I hate the University of Tennessee, and they both should be on there. They should both be at the top of the list. Tennessee and North Carolina State, I said what I said.
So I don't think it's crazy talk to say Tennessee has unrealistic expectations. They have a huge nil. They recruit well always, and they spend money. So I don't think it's unrealistic for them to want to win. I do not. But Kentucky every year, James, like, because I want to tell you this personally, like,
Oh no, I was talking about their basketball program.
Yeah, their basketball is not unrealistic. They have multiple national champions. I agree with you on that, James. But these football fans at Kentucky are fucking delusional. They have less wins all time than Vanderbilt. This is a fact. I have the graphic and I'll send it to you.
Yes, facts, baby.
They have less wins in football than Vanderbilt. And yet every year these fools talking about we going to the playoffs. Playoffs?
I can see the clip in my head.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Playoff? You kidding me? Playoffs?
So Terry, West Virginia fans, same way. You ask that question every year. West Virginia fans, we go into the playoffs. We win in the Big 12.
I was going to say, Terry, I'm about to answer that question for you, and I got 2 good reasons.
So on Kentucky, let me address Kentucky. Their basketball, their fans just ran off a coach, one of the all-time great coaches, just ran him off because he lost to an lower-seeded team in the NCAA tournament 2 years in a row. And they replaced him with a coach that's been to the NCAA tournament twice, never won a game, and lost to a lower seed both times. Tell me they ain't fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah, they crazy for sure.
They
get rid of Calipari
but
for that?
Calipari ain't doing so motherfucking hot in Arkansas, though. He did catch a win over Georgia finally to win his first SEC game, but he ain't doing so hot.
It took a lot of help from the officials last night to get that win, too.
It did. The ending of that game was some bullshit. Like literally the officials gave him that game.
Hey, I'll say this. As far as Kentucky goes for basketball, they were essentially at one point just below Duke, but at the same time on the same level as Alabama because they were getting some really good recruits that were rolling through there.
So I agree. So before we move on to our commercial, then our next stuff, I want to address 2 over here that we ain't addressed yet. Penn State's on there because Penn State thinks Penn State should go undefeated every year, and that's not where they live, even though they had a really good team this year. Kansas State, every year, talk about they're going to win the Big 12, and every year they shit the bed on games they shouldn't, always. And Arkansas, for whatever fucking reason.
They haven't been the same since Drew fucking McFadden.
Darren McFadden.
I mean,
Darren McFadden. Thank you. Wow.
I secretly love Arkansas, okay? I secretly love them, and I'm so hopeful for them in every sport. But I can say, I've never heard an Arkansas fan be like, we're winning it all! We're winning it all! No, they're just like, let's go! Come on, guys! They're just so fucking just happy to be there.
All right,
just
so
happy to be there.
Before we go to commercial break, you said you never heard Arkansas fans say that. I get it, but Chris, you and I have been around the block a while, and we've seen SEC fans. How many stupid fucking comments from Arkansas fans did you hear over the years, especially since the beginning of the Petrino era, saying that they were going to win it all and they were the best team in the country?
So since Petrino, Arkansas football hasn't been the same since Bobby Petrino decided to take a ride on his Harley. Let's make no mistake about that. But, overall fan bases, not just football, saying they're the best baseball program in college baseball. Wrong. Dave Van Horn ain't never won a title and ain't never going to win a title. Sorry. That's just the facts. They think they should be top 3 every year in baseball. In basketball for the past 5 years with what was his name? Nussmeier is their head, not Nussmeier. I know his name, but with their coach in basketball, bringing in all the 5 stars and preseason top 10 rankings, thinking that, Elite 8 runs, that they're one of the greatest programs in the country. They're insane. They just are. For football, they understand. Ain't nobody going to come to Arkansas to play football. But when you have a storied basketball program like they have, they do. So they expect to win in baseball and in basketball. So they're crazy.
So they expect to win in football too, Chris. Let's talk about not the Sam Pittman era, but even from the early 90s on. How many
Yeah.
times have you heard Arkansas fans make insane claims?
Right. I don't
Well,
disagree with that.
I was born in 91. Okay.
Yeah.
Can we cut it down to my lifetime just a little bit? Just a little bit.
Look, right now my mindset is college football, and look, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but is Virginia Tech in the ACC?
Yes.
So for football, they have one of arguably, if not the greatest intros for college football of all time. You got Enter Sandman going, you got the football team going through the tunnel, you got the crowd jumping up and down, being one of the loudest environments in college football. All for what? A damn near 500 season? Get the hell up out of there. And West Virginia, don't think I forgot about you. You had Geno Smith and one of, if not arguably the best players in college football, being Tavon Austin. You haven't been the same since.
So on Virginia Tech, they had a coach who happens to be the father of South Carolina's coach, Shane Beamer. And they regularly went 11-2 every single freaking year and played in the biggest bowls every single freaking year. There's a reason that fan base is passionate, and it's because of Frank Beamer doing the job that he did at Virginia Tech and putting them in the BCS every single year.
So Virginia Tech played in the national championship against Florida State and got beat. But Virginia Tech wasn't on that graphic. I agree with Chris. Like, I don't think that's because like Frank Beamer showed them that they could be those dudes, and it was in the Big East. I get that, but that's when the Big East still had everybody before they left. They still had Miami, still had Boston College. It was still a good conference back then. But they super ass now, bro. The American Athletic is what it became. So anyway, it's commercial time, and you're watching College Sports Villains only on the Villain Media Network.
They'll leave it with him. Gets it across the 10, a pickup of 5, and out of trouble to the 12.
Hey, 5 to 6 yards a pop. I don't know if you guys are really good at math, but that usually equals a first down every couple carries. So don't forget about the run game. Keep them honest, pound that rock.
And he's running in the open. You're not getting him on the ground, still on his feet. The 20. He's at the 10. They'll leave it with him. Gets it across the 10, a pickup of 5, and out of trouble to the 12.
I'm a bad guy, the one you love to hate. Andrew Anderson, spitting truth that just can't wait. Got a podcast, like a punch right to your face. College Sports Villains, taking it over the place. I'll bring the facts whether you like it or not. Dropping truth bombs, giving it all I got. They call me a villain. Well, I wear that badge with pride. Nothing but secrets they try to hide. Hard rock in my veins, rebellious to the core. I won't back down, won't take it anymore. The bad guy
the obvious crashes over me. It's always in front of me. It helps me to remember this is what I live for, and I can't wait till I wake up to.
Welcome back to College Sports Villains, only on the Villain Media Network. I'm trying to get something out that James asked me to do in the break right then, so I'll send that out momentarily.
I mean, hey, I would have been more than willingly to do it.
Excellent. I know. I guess I was thinking, I sent you that funny gif. I'm like, but
no, like I got the perception of what you were saying. I'm like, hey, look, I'm still gonna send him the link. So,
James, let me ask you a question real quick.
Fire away.
Just because I like to know things, right? You know, tell me why 01 Miami was the most overrated fucking team that ever played college football.
Here we go.
Oh boy, oh freaking boy. Well,
what, Cody?
Wow, overrated, you say? Over fucking rated. Wow, that is ballsy of you. Well, first off, they had a three-headed beast in the backfield: Clinton Portis, Willis McGahee, and Frank Gore. They had one of the best cornerbacks in the fucking NFL. One would have been the greatest of all time had that incident not happened. If you know, you know.
8 days.
RIPST. And look, they had Andre Johnson. They had Santana Moss. They had 17 guys go in the first round alone.
Wait, hold on. I'm just gonna cut you off real quick because I asked you why they're overrated. So let me ask you a question. Just real simple answer because we're going into something here. 95 Nebraska or 01 Miami?
01 Miami.
I love it. That's crazy talk.
Bruh.
How many picks did 95 Nebraska have in the first round alone?
James. If you want some of the damn champion, you better come with some stupid shit. My God, I got two of them, baby. I got two of them. Nebraska 95 would dominate Miami 01.
Oh,
I'm
really?
If you want some, come get some.
Nebraska have going into the NFL draft?
I don't care how many they went pro. I know they won every single game by double digits. I know the defense that they played.
Miami Hurricanes.
The defense that Nebraska played would shut down that Miami offense 100%.
No, the fuck they would not. Who's
Yes,
stopping Andre Johnson? Who's stopping Santana Moss? The fuck? This dude came in as a walk-on with a track scholarship.
Hold on. We're going to kill this conversation because we're actually going to have a whole show 3 weeks from now dedicated to this debate. Just so y'all know. I've already got it planned. But crazy talk to say nobody on that Nebraska defense could stop them. But anyway, Cody.
The double champ, baby. The double champ.
Bring these belts on the boot.
Only reason I got one championship is because, like I said, on Monday, I retired this championship to my wife.
Chris, read the comment.
I got two of them. I don't retire to nobody.
Chris, Cody calling you out.
Bet I'm going to get a fucking money in the bank briefcase and I'm going to cash in on your ass.
So, I want to go to the next fan bases that deserve better. And if you notice, there are two teams on here that were on the last graphic. And the reason they are is because North Carolina State and West Virginia fans are both very passionate about their teams, and they deserve better than what happens to them year in, year out. They really do. I know Chris don't agree that, but just because they're shitty fans doesn't mean they're not passionate fans, Chris. So you have to make that decision today. He couldn't do it.
Hey, look, I'm still in football
wait.
mindset,
Fan bases,
and
no,
I don't see a single
North
lie
Carolina State
detected.
fans don't deserve better. No, sorry. They can kiss my ass.
What about you, Matt?
For me, I mean, they deserve better. Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's who I would pick. Out of all these colleges, like if they could just get one real good season, I'd give it to them.
Well, in a way, they had a good season, but that was when Dak Prescott was under center.
Listen, the last time I saw anything about Mississippi State, Pernell McPhee was playing for them, and that was shit almost 2 days. That was about 15 years ago.
So Mississippi State, okay, about 10 years ago, Saturday Down South ranked all of the SEC teams from best program to worst program in history. Mississippi State ended up dead last in all of the SEC. Do you know why? 0 championships of any kind in football ever. Not a conference championship, nothing. Vanderbilt was voted number 1 4 times back in the early 1900s. Yeah, a long time ago. But they were still voted number 1. They won their conference 13 times. They were the standard for Southern football in the early 1900s. Mississippi State has never been that. They never were that. They never will be that. Those fans, as passionate as they are, deserve better than what that school gives them.
Chris, is that nostalgia from your childhood? Sorry, I had to take
I'm old, but I ain't that damn old.
Open, bro.
You might as well be.
so, oh my God, that is awesome. Emily, looking at this graphic here, which fan base do you think, just out of these, is deserves better than what happens to them?
Well, to be honest with you, I only really recognize 3 of them. So I guess the 2 that I don't recognize.
Which 2 don't you recognize?
The Pac and the Big Ten.
Oh, so Nebraska. We talk about 95 Nebraska all the time on here. I'll get you some information on that because Nebraska is Nebraska's a college football blue blood.
So fun fact about Nebraska: they hold the current longest sellout streak in the nation, bar none, for football. They sell out that stadium every single week, and it's been like 40 years nonstop that it's been a sellout.
Almost 70. Hold on, let me mute here real quick. 1957, they've been selling out stadiums since 1957. They deserve better, but they are blue. But the other one you asked, Emily, that's Washington State, and I feel for them, man. Like they've had some good. They had Ryan Lee. I mean, it's awful.
They had Cam Ward.
They did, and see how that ended up for them. So we're having ourselves a good time. So before we go to, we have 2 more main subjects. I want to pick one of them is going to take a little time, but before we go there, I just want to ask this question. I want to start with Matt. Like the second Matt said, this question popped in my head. Matt, who wins the Super Bowl? I know there's 4 teams left, but right now you had to pick a team to win it all. Who is it?
I'm going to take the person I don't think anybody else is going to take, and that's going to be the Commanders. I'm going to take the Commanders.
The Commanders.
And if they win, they should change the name back to the Redskins.
Yes.
So there's some traction on that. We'll get into
There's
that.
actually a lawsuit already filed to do
Yes.
From
There's been
17
plenty of lawsuits filed for that shit.
17 Native American tribes, indigenous tribes, whatever you want to call them, are suing to bring that back.
Yeah.
And if the people who are supposed to be offended aren't offended, you have to bring that shit back. Like you have a leg to stand on anymore.
Because guess who's back in office, baby? He don't fuck around.
Yeah, we're not signing no executive order to rename an NFL team like that. Dude,
Yeah, that's
That's fair. That's fair.
Jesus Christ, you're just so excited. He's just so excited.
I mean, he's already lost one court case.
So, and he'll win it though. It'll go to the Supreme Court in a week, and then it'll pass through. So it's irrelevant. Right now, you have the House, the Senate, and you have the Supreme Court. Whatever the fuck you want to do right now, but I don't want to get into that. Unlimited power. He's like fucking Palpatine right now. But I don't want to get in that. I do not. Emily, who do you think wins the Super Bowl? Is it the Bills? Is it the Chiefs? Is it the Commanders? Or is it random team number 4? Because I don't believe in them either, Mac.
The Eagles?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go with the Commanders.
Oh, back-to-back Commanders. So Jaden Daniels is playing out of his fucking mind, and can't nobody deny what he be doing. What about you, James?
I mean, if you're a true fan, you want to see a Buffalo Bills versus Washington Redskins Super Bowl. That is a Super Bowl we all want to see.
We've seen that one before.
And guess what? The Bills lose.
Fuck you, Scott Norwood.
Oh.
But continue on. I'm sorry.
But look, biasy aside, whether who gets there, give me Buffalo, baby.
Buffalo. Hey, look, I'm with you. 2 Commanders and a Buffalo. But while we're here,
I have to turn my head until the darkness grows. I see a line of cars and they're all painted black.
Terry, how are you doing?
How's everybody doing tonight? This lovely Thursday.
It is. We're currently making a pick of who we think is going to win the Super Bowl. Real quick, who do you got, Terry?
I say the curse is finally over. Buffalo wins.
Oh, so we got 2 Commanders and 2 Buffalo Bills. Chris, are you going to break the tiebreaker or go in a completely different direction?
So when the playoffs started, we picked all the games and who we thought was going to win. The team that I said was going to win the Super Bowl at the beginning of the playoffs is in the NFC Championship. Eagles are winning it all.
Eagles are winning it. Random team number 4. I agree. Eagles win the Super Bowl. I threw an okie doke on all of you. How in the world are the Eagles not winning the Super Bowl with that defense and Saquon Barkley is crazy talk? But that's crazy how it was 2, 2, 2. Like that's an even split. So not a single person chose the Chiefs, and I love you all for it.
Hey, I ain't jumping on that Bohemian Grove Black Magic Taylor Swift bullshit having ass train anytime soon.
Hey, I gotta go get my kids and get them laid down and ready for school in the morning. Thanks for having me on. It's great to see everybody. I'll see you tomorrow, Andrew. Have a good one, everybody. Peace.
Thanks, Matt. All righty. So Next subject. This is the way too early top 25 for next year. Chris, you seem to already be enjoying this graphic from the jump. Tell me, what is the one most ridiculous thing you see here?
The biggest thing I see there, Ohio State's losing 2 offensive linemen. Their starting quarterback.
Where's that coming from?
What happened?
I'm just hearing a lot of feedback from somebody.
Might be Terry.
Do you hear it now?
No.
Okay. I just muted the TV. Sorry.
I didn't know what that was. I was like,
That's probably what it was.
Crazy.
I was doing homework for you. I was watching Running Man.
Hey, look, The Running Man was a badass movie. But Chris, craziest thing you see on here? I hear it.
Ohio State at number 1. You're losing your quarterback. At least one of your running backs, Travion Henderson, is gone. Your best wide receiver, Emeka Buka, is gone. 2 offensive linemen. 2 defensive linemen. Yes, they're bringing in talent, but it's young, unproven talent. I don't see them being number 1 next year. I don't see Texas being number 2 with everything they're losing. I wonder what they're looking at.
So that's the crazy. What do you think is the most correct thing on here?
The most correct thing? Having both South Carolina and Florida in the top 20.
I can get down with that. James, what's the most crazy thing you see on here?
You already know where I'm about to go with this.
Go ahead.
All right, I'll break the silence. The fact that Navy and Army aren't in this bullshit.
Bro. Here we go. Strike 1, James.
Hey, look, I'll say this. Real talk, though. Real talk. I'm surprised that Boise State isn't higher.
Based on what?
They lost a lot, bro. They really did.
They did lose a lot. But again, this is way too early stuff that we're talking about. You know, they got where they were in the rankings. Yes, they're going to be losing a lot. Georgia lost a lot. Lost Matthew Stafford to the fucking NFL draft, and they were the defending champion. Look how that ended up.
I don't think Stafford ever won a national championship at Georgia.
No, he did not.
He won a bowl game, a big bowl game or something like that. But
wait a minute.
When Georgia went into the next season, what was he? Drafted in 2008? 2008, 2009, somewhere in that time frame.
So I hear what you're saying, but allow me to retort. Boise State is not Georgia. They are bringing in 5-star number 1 recruiting classes year in, year out.
Yeah, I'm not denying that.
Hold on a second.
I will say this, though. BYU being as high as they are is dicey.
I agree, but I'll save that for me. What's the most correct thing you see?
I mean, man, it's too tough to call, but if I had to make any adjustments, I'd probably put Notre Dame at number 2, Texas at 3, and then Penn State at 4.
I got you. Emily, I don't know if the boys acting crazy or not, but what's the craziest thing you see?
The craziest thing?
Yeah.
That South Carolina's ranked higher than Alabama.
Oh, we're going straight for the jugular. All right.
No, it's the fact that Indiana is actually included in that.
So I'm just saying, like, we will see. Hold on a second. 1 second. We will see on homecoming day for South Carolina. When we have Alabama. We have Alabama there. So, he's already. Terry, what's the craziest thing you see on here?
Honestly, looking at the top 5, I know a lot of teams reload, but I think those teams are losing way too much to the draft. I don't think Boise State should be in the top 25 anymore, especially after Gene T leaves. Now, if we're going to go off something I think that's correct, I would say Texas A&M is correct where they're currently standing. I also agree with Emily that South Carolina is ranked higher than Alabama.
South Carolina's brought in as much talent as Bama has in the previous year and in the transfer portal. And also, South Carolina lost by 2 at Alabama last year while being a 21-point underdog. It says to me that they're pretty equal. So I would be okay with that. So for me, I have a couple crazy talks. First of all, Chris, you said Ohio State's losing way too much. Here's where I will retort your point. They're just going to go out and buy them again. So it really doesn't matter. They're spending 20+ million a year. It doesn't matter who they lose. Crazy talk is Ole Miss at 25. Ole Miss just bought. Hold on a second. Okay, Ole Miss just paid. Wait, what is that? Ole Miss just paid.
I think it's feedback coming from Terry's mic.
I think it's your microphone, Terry. I think it's me I'm hearing talking through it.
All right, try it.
Terry. There we go. So that was my feedback of me speaking coming through your microphone. I was like, I know I'm not crazy, and that's not a TV because it's talking the second I start talking too. Unless somebody's playing a joke on me, this don't make no sense right now.
No, you
stop talking and get quiet. But anyway, crazy talk. Ole Miss, bro. Ole Miss just spent how much money? How much? $18 million so far? No way that they're going to be as low as 25. That's crazy talk. Crazy talk number 2. BYU ain't going to be in the top 10 this year. Hey, cool little run last year, but they ain't bringing in shit. And the Big 12 is about to get a lot better. I think it's crazy talk to see BYU in the top 10 at this point. I certainly understand why you would say Alabama being over South Carolina is crazy talk based on history, but this South Carolina team we saw this year at full strength was a menace. A straight up fucking menace, especially on defense. I mean, just outrageously good. But yeah, Ole Miss being that far down is crazy. Absolutely crazy. So this is the part I've been looking for. Emily, do you wanna go? I see that he's not letting you do anything.
He is literally making me play a game on his phone for him because he can't.
Yes, that sounds about right. Well, thank you for being here.
What is it, Angry Bird?
What?
What is it, Angry Bird?
I don't even know. It's some Sonic game.
Sonic!
All right. See you later. Thank you. Love you. All right. So, I've been looking
there were 4.
What's that?
I said, and then there were 4.
Right. So what I'm about to do now, and I need you 3 to remind me after the show to do this because it's important for what I want to do. We're about to do this segment. And then we're going to do this segment again a week before the football season starts. And I want to see how it compares. Week 1 slate.
Ooh.
Based on what you know right now, based on what happens through the offseason, these are going to change probably very much for us. But right now, with what you know, what's coming back, this and that. Chris, I want you to you know what? I just want to go game by game real quick. Who's going to win and why? Real quick, because these are a lot of games. Texas at Ohio State, Chris.
I'm going Texas.
All right, LSU at Clemson. Good game.
I'm actually going to go with Clemson. I think Cade Klubnik for his senior year finally puts it all together and becomes that guy.
All right, so I'm going to go back and get them because I was supposed to go game by game and I messed up. But I just want to say to everybody before we go back, Chris said Cade Klubnik was a fraud and he would never amount to anything earlier in this season. James, Texas at Ohio State.
I'm gonna have to go ahead and go with Texas. Quinn Ewers may be entering the NFL draft, but hey, they're bringing in the youngest of the greatest football family of all time, being the Manning family. That kid being Arch Manning.
Arch Manning is going to be a menace, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm so excited to watch him play. I really am. What about you, Terry? Who wins Texas, Ohio State?
I'm going to go with Texas as well, just because of Arch Manning. I don't know who Ohio State's going to have, if Will Howard's going to return or if he's going to end up going to the draft. But I think the difference is Arch Manning because he's already kind of got a feel for it. So it's not like he's just coming in fresh. He's already had a little bit experience under the belt, and he looked very comfortable in that offense compared to, my old quarterback that played like crap. That was there for 5 years. But hey, who's counting?
So I will tell you, I love Will Howard, but Arch Manning is a better quarterback than Will Howard, and I promise you, Texas is coming back reloaded as well. And I think they spent $18 million in nil, so it ain't like they ain't thinking to do the same thing Ohio State has. So yeah, give me the Arch Manning effect. I agree with all of y'all. Give me Texas. We already know who Chris picked. So James, LSU at Clemson, Death Valley versus Death Valley.
Oh, honestly, I'm gonna have to go with Clemson. I mean, look, even with Jaden Daniels, when he was under center under Brian Kelly, they got into the Reliquest Bowl.
That's a bowl, decent bowl.
Yeah, it might be a decent bowl, but any day of the week, I'm taking Dabo Swinney over Brian Kelly. Because look what Marcus Freeman did for Notre Dame versus what Brian Kelly did for Notre Dame.
I got you. So Kelly's a fraud. We'll get there. Terry.
I will also go with Clemson because fuck Cody in that picture he posted where he was above me, Chris, and George. Chris knows what I'm talking about.
All right. This is another clean sweep. I'm going to echo a couple of what y'all said. Cade Klubnik is about to have a major fucking season because he was like Lenore Sellers this year. From the beginning of the season to the way he ended the season, that man matured and he looked like a Heisman candidate by the time it was over. Dabo Swinney is a much better coach than Brian Kelly. I agree with Chris. I agree with James 150% there. It's not even fucking close when it comes to Dabo and Brian Kelly. I would love if Clemson hired Brian Kelly. I mean, I would love it. Yeah, Clemson's going to be better top to bottom, and Clemson just started using the transfer portal and nil as well. That's a dangerous combination for an athletic program like Clemson. And, that fucking sucks for me more than anybody, but I live in reality. So give me Clemson. Tennessee at Syracuse shouldn't be a big surprise. Real quick, Chris, who wins that game?
Surprise, surprise. I think Syracuse wins that game. And the reason I think that is because Tennessee lost just about their entire wide receiver room and 90% of their offensive line.
Is
And their best running back.
Okay.
Is who?
Colin McCord, Syracuse's quarterback.
No, I think he's a senior.
I think he's a
out of
senior.
eligibility.
Mm.
Yeah, I think he's out of eligibility. What about you?
I really like what Fran Brown's doing. I'd take Fran Brown over Josh Heupel any day.
Okay. What about you, James?
So I was on the assumption that hey, Colin McCord was going to be returning to Syracuse. Obviously, that's not the case. Tennessee may be losing a lot, but they're still in the toughest, or I should say, or were in the toughest conference of college football. But it seems as though that castle is starting to crumble.
Toughest. Big Ten's just top heavy, kind of like how the SEC was in the mid thousands with Florida and Alabama than everybody else. That's kind of where Big Ten is right now. But that's just my 2 cents. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Who wins this game?
I'm gonna have to go with Tennessee.
I got you, Terry.
I agree that Tennessee's going to lose a lot of more games this year, and I think Vandy might actually beat them this year. That's a stretch, I know, but for this game particularly, just for week 1, I'm going to go with Tennessee on this one.
Yeah. So you and Chris both had crazy talk moments there. You said Tennessee's going to lose a lot more games this year. I just don't see it. Tennessee's schedule is about the same as it was last year, and didn't Tennessee spend $13 million in nil? It was a good bit. Chris's crazy talk is he's letting his hate blind him. Syracuse ain't beating Tennessee without Kyle McCord, and that's just the way it is. It ain't gonna happen.
But apparently, Colin McCord was the problem at Ohio State.
So who is Nico going to throw the ball to? They lost 6 of their top 7 wide receivers.
They'll buy more. It'll be fine.
And they've lost their 2 of their top 3 running backs and their entire offensive line. I don't see it.
But see, that shit don't matter. See, that's why college football is so different now. That shit don't matter no more. Like, it don't matter who you lose. If you got the money, you could go out and just reload the best players from other teams. And Tennessee got the money.
Good push.
That's the way I look at it. Auburn at Baylor, and I already know who Chris is going to pick.
Baylor. And the quarterback at Baylor is going to be the former Auburn quarterback, Walker White. Gets his revenge and beats Baylor.
Oh, my God. If I had a nickel for every time I heard Kenny say Walker White. James.
This is biasy aside, but I really think in a way Auburn found their quarterback with Deuce Knight. And look, Cam Newton, you're just a fucking whiny little bitch because Deuce Knight wants to wear your number at Auburn. Look, if you did enough for Auburn, they would have retired your jersey. But for right now, yeah, I'm going to have to go with Auburn.
First of all, let me just say it's absolute crazy talk that Auburn didn't retire his number because without him, they only win 8 games that year. But go ahead, Chris.
Very true.
So,
I ain't going to deny that.
On this subject of retired jerseys, did you know Auburn hasn't retired anybody's jersey? Not Bo Jackson's, not Cam Newton's, but what they've done is set them aside and nobody wears them. Deuce Knight thinking he should go in there and change what Auburn has done in history. Wrong. And if you think Deuce Knight is going to play over a kid that they just bought in the transfer portal for $2 million, you're crazy. He's not starting over Jackson Arnold.
Hey, we'll see what happens come week 1 of the 2025 season.
Yeah, we will. But yeah, Jackson Arnold is 100% starting for Auburn this year. Who wins the game, Terry?
Auburn. And I'm actually going to try to go to that one this year.
Oh, that's really cool. Let me know how it goes. I will be at the South Carolina women's basketball game week after next, so I'm really excited about that. Emily and I will be going to South Carolina, Alabama. But yeah, Auburn is bad, and they've not done really anything in recruiting or in the transfer portal that would, besides Jackson Arnold, that would lead me to believe that they're going to be much better than last year. But you know who is going to be much better? Baylor. I agree. Give me Baylor. So this one, Boise State at South Florida, is going to be really, really hard. So we can skip that one. I know that we don't keep up with a lot of news on that. Everybody's probably going to say Boise State based on what we saw this year, and I don't know enough about
I'll just say South Florida since Gene T's gone.
No, I'll go with Boise State because, look, all it takes is one good season. One good season. They had a good season. So, hey, look, we'll see what happens. All we can do is make predictions. We'll see what happens come the product on the field 2025 week 1.
I'm just going to go with the offensive mastermind, Alex Golis, leading South Florida. They just went 7-6. Again, he's turned that program from a 2-win team 2 years ago to a bowl-winning 7-win team this year. 2 seasons. And Boise State had absolutely zero offensive line play this year. Everything Genty did was on his own. Boise State might be a 7 or 8 win team next year.
So I just give me Boise State. That's crazy talk to say a running back did it on his own. Genty was not Barry Sanders back there. Let's see. So Nebraska at Cincinnati. Cincinnati had a resurgence this year after some terrible years. Just real quick on this one. Nebraska at Cincinnati, Chris.
I'm taking Nebraska because fuck Cincinnati. I don't like what they did to Cheatham County Middle School up here in Tennessee with the cease and desist letter to make them stop using the C with the bear claw. Fuck Cincinnati. Go Huskers.
What about you, James?
I'm
sorry.
Say what?
It's at Nebraska. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's at Nebraska. Yeah. So, is Patrick Mahomes 2.0 going to be starting next year?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm taking Nebraska.
Terry.
Nebraska.
Nebraska's going to be a dangerous ass team next year. Like, I know they kind of fell apart toward the end, but if you saw what Matt Rule has almost put together there, that shit looks scary. TCU at North Carolina, 2 completely ass teams. And by the way, Bill Belichick finally signed his contract today, so it is official. He is the head coach at North Carolina. TCU at North Carolina, Chris.
I'm going TCU.
Gotcha. James.
Look, this is pure biasy, but I'm going North Carolina because they have the greatest head coach of all time down there.
They have the greatest NFL head coach. And I don't even know that.
Yeah.
But Terry.
Give me the Tar Heels.
So this is an even split. Even though Bill Belichick is there and he is a good coach, he's never been in the college game and he's not really doing anything. So he missed the whole portal and recruiting cycle by not signing until today. And that does not bode well. You know who did have a resurgence all of a sudden? TCU. North Carolina is a very bad football team right now, and unless they really kill it in the portal now, they're not beating TCU. Give me TCU. North Carolina. It's just because North Carolina is in such bad shape right now.
And to bounce off what you're saying, this Belichick to North Carolina is giving me absolutely Arizona State vibes. You remember who they hired, right?
Look, Belichick.
Bro, if you are really comparing Bill Belichick to Herm Edwards to Arizona State, you're fucking high.
That's not what I said. I said it gives me vibes.
The transition from NFL to college.
Right. It's a big transition.
It is.
And Herm Edwards, with the history that he had, went into Arizona State. He didn't recruit. He didn't do anything with transfers. He did none of that. And it was an absolute shit show. And I'm getting the same vibes here because it started out the same way.
So it's much harder to win in college than the NFL because, like, you can't. It's just you have to go out and recruit, and you have to do all these things. And NFL head coaches are used to their GM doing that. So that's why I think it's going to be rough. But TCU is just a much better football program than North Carolina right now. Is why I'm choosing them.
True, but we'll see what happens. You know, Bill Belichick has had an eye for talent and everything like that. And I mean, there's only a handful of people outside of Tom Brady and the 2000s era of the Patriots that are like, yo, we succeeded in the NFL.
Now, I'm with you. So I'm not saying Belichick's a bad coach. He's not the greatest NFL coach of all time. I think Andy Reid's a better coach than he was. He did it at two places consistently. I know he never won a Super Bowl in Philadelphia, but he damn sure should have. It's a damn shame he didn't.
But he's probably behind the reason of the Bohemian Grove fucking black magic that's going on.
So I've been looking forward to talking about this one. And Chris, I'm about to take a dig at James here. So James, are you a Miami fan or are you a Notre Dame fan? I'm confused. Your two loves here.
Look, I'm a college football fan, but when it comes down to it, I am a Notre Dame fan. I was born and raised a Notre Dame fan. Even when Miami was coming up and they were the best team in college football, I was grown to hate them. But over time, my mom is currently seeing somebody who is from Miami. And then looking back, it made me realize, you know what? Miami really had a NFL team playing at the college level. So, you know, when I was like 10, 11 years old, I was hating Miami. Like, I was wishing the same thing upon Tom Brady when he was the quarterback of the New England Patriots, the same way I was wishing things upon the Miami Hurricanes. But as an adult, looking back, it's like, you know what? Miami was that fucking team. But at my heart and at my fucking core, cheer, cheer for old Notre Dame. And I know there's a certain somebody out there that is punching air because their fucking team couldn't get to the national championship.
So you're choosing Notre Dame to win this game?
Yes.
Awesome. Catholics versus convicts 2025 version. Now, Chris, who wins this game?
See it.
I actually think Notre Dame wins this game. I think their defense is going to be very, very good again next year. And I think, yeah, Miami might have got Carson Beck. But guess what? Carson Beck's got a shit show going on the sidelines, a lot of outside interference. I don't think that's going to materialize to what everybody assumes that it's going to be.
I was actually about to – sorry.
I just think Carson Beck's focus is on some things that it shouldn't be on right now. It should be on football and not the other things. I think that's a disaster waiting to happen.
I got you, Terry.
Yeah, it's another one of those kind of having a hard time because of who's all going to the draft and who's going to be stepping up afterwards. But you're losing Riley Leonard and you're losing Cam Ward, if I'm not mistaken, right? Riley Leonard's he's going to go to the draft. Would I be correct to say that?
Yes, him and Cam Ward are both in the draft.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with the luck of the Irish again. It didn't happen the other day, but I'm going to rejuvenate it just for my boy James over there, who's going to lose his title soon.
Man, I ain't losing this shit to you anytime soon, baby.
No, give me Notre Dame.
I see. All right, so
here it comes.
Clean sweep. Not so fast. Riley Leonard was very, very good. Did not get the credit he deserved. We had no idea who's going to be playing quarterback for them. So what I did see in Miami is consistency finally. I did see the refs help them win some games, but I saw some consistency. This game will be at Miami, and I disagree. I think Carson Beck is going to be the X factor. Because if, as much as I love Gunnar Stockton, but if Carson Beck starts those games, we're probably talking Georgia national champion right now. I'm just gonna be really real with you, whether you like him or not. We're probably saying that right now. And I think Miami wins this game. Alabama at Florida State. Chris.
Here comes the pick that's going to knock all of you off of your seats. I've been watching Florida State in the transfer portal. They're getting some kids. I'm calling Florida State for the upset and surprise everybody.
Hey, currently Alabama is number 3 in the transfer portal, and Florida State is number 64. But okay, who wins this game, James?
Bama, not even close.
Terry?
Bama.
So I have seen them pick up a few things, but they were goddamn awful, Chris. They were 2-10, and they picked up 7 people. That's not enough to compete with Alabama right now. It's just not enough. And Mike Norvell is a fucking fraud.
I mean, right now it's the same way that it was with College Game Day in Ireland when Georgia Tech took on Florida State, and Seamus literally picked Georgia Tech because the kicker was from fucking Ireland.
Well, and Alabama's a much better team than Georgia Tech. Give me Alabama. I know Florida State, and I know Florida State's making moves, but I don't trust Mike Norvell for anything. I just don't. And neither did the committee, because even when he went undefeated, they're like, nah, bro, you're not getting in the playoffs. Virginia Tech at South Carolina, Chris. You're on mute, bro.
Mm-hmm.
The Beamer Bowl is going to be won by Shane Beamer.
South Carolina wins this game. James.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go ahead and take South Carolina as well. Cox by 90.
Yes. Terry.
Give me Gamecocks.
So the Gamecocks will win this game. And Gamecocks are already finished the season number 18. Got screwed against LSU. Should have never lost that game. We saw the refs take it from them. And currently in the transfer portal, Shane Beamer is also killing it. They're currently ranked at number 9 in the transfer portal? 8. They're one of those. So they're the rich gets richer, and Virginia Tech. I haven't been following them, but have y'all seen any news about Virginia Tech in the portal or recruiting?
I have.
What's it looking like?
Vanderbilt took one of their starting offensive linemen and one of their backup wide receivers away from them.
So bad times for Virginia Tech. Give me South Carolina big. So this one will be a barn burner because you ain't got no Travis Hunter. You ain't got no Shador. And you probably won't have a Dion. But anyway, Georgia Tech at Colorado. Chris.
Georgia Tech wins big, handily, early, and often against Colorado. Colorado is going to be ass.
James.
So right now, I'm going to go ahead and make the assumption that Deion Sanders turns down the Cowboys head coach position because, they are looking at Kellen Moore right now. And, when you look at the Cowboys head coaching history, it's been a bunch of yes men. Jason Garrett, Mike McCarthy. They were basically face down, ass up for Jerry Jones. So assuming that Deion Sanders stays at Colorado, there's going to be a bunch of players that are going to want to play for him. And there's going to be a bunch of players that he will take under his wing. Again, I'm making an assumption here, but I'm going to have to go ahead and go with Colorado.
Colorado currently has signed 2 people in the portal. 2. Terry, who wins this game?
Whether Deion's there or not, I'm liking the direction that Georgia Tech's been going with their football as of recent. I mean, they're coming a long way, kind of like the way Vandy surprised me last year with their for previous years. But I'm gonna go with Georgia Tech on this one. An exciting game.
I agree with Chris and Terry here. And I'll even assume that Deion Sanders goes back. He's not doing anything in the portal right now, or really in recruiting, which leads me to believe he's taking an NFL job, to be honest with you, because he ain't doing nothing right now. So with losing Shador Sanders and losing Travis Hunter and several other players, and Georgia Tech, I agree with Terry on this. Georgia Tech's been getting so much better every year at a quick rate too. Like Georgia Tech, we may be talking about a 10-win team next year. They're getting that good. Give me Georgia Tech big as well. I think Georgia Tech blows them out of the water, to be honest with you. So I was looking forward to this game ever since Terry asked for a link. Utah at UCLA in front of a whole 600 fans. Chris.
Those 327 fans that show up for that game are going to get treated to a highlight reel performance by Utah quarterback. Utah wins this game big and easy.
James.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cam Rising is returning for nearly his 10th season of the year. Give me UCLA.
So Terry.
Well, I don't know if you have a graphic thing that you might want to look at next time, but it actually showed UCLA at the top 25 for the transfer portal. They've been actually addressing much needed positions. Still unsure the quarterback. However, I mean, look at the quarterbacks we had of recent since DTR left. But one thing that UCLA has always, been pretty consistent with is their defense. I mean, but every defense gets tired when your offense ain't doing crap. However, when you got 40-year-old Cam Rising starting at quarterback at the college level still, he's not going to get a Heisman, Chris. You should stop shaking your head. He's probably not going to do much in the NFL because
way past his prime.
Yeah, he's past his prime, and he peaked in the sophomore year of high school, I'm sure. I know they had a 5-7 record, but I think they're probably gonna be bowl eligible this year. But give me a lot of head turning, and give me my Bruins.
So currently, UCLA has signed 9 people out of the transfer portal. They're all 3 stars, and they have lost 17 to the portal. The portal giveth, and the portal taketh away. But what we saw last year is much like Oklahoma State in the Big 12, an unnormal year for Utah. Utah's defense is going to be one of the best in the nation. Utah is killing it everywhere. And Cam Rising will not be starting for Utah this year.
Nope.
And Utah is bringing back some of the best rushing production that they in the nation last year, top 9. And they had a losing record because their quarterback was feeble and their defense was injured. I agree with Chris. Utah is going to go into UCLA and beat the absolute dog shit out of them. I think Utah is in the playoffs next year. I think Utah wins the Big 12 next year. I think Utah is an 11-win team next year.
And bouncing off of that, not only do they return some of the best running production in the nation, they got their quarterback back from Vandy, Nate Johnson, who will be the starter at Utah next year, who just happens to be the fastest player in all of college football.
Him and Nicholas Harbor had the 2 highest rating in NCAA at 99 for speed. That is a fact. I'm telling you, Utah is going to be because the last time Utah had a down year, they went 12-0 the next year. And you talk about a consistently winning program. That program's been winning since the 90s when Urban Meyer was there. We're talking 10-win seasons. UCLA just had the problem for UCLA once again is they're not spending hardly anything on nil. Their neighbor in the same city is spending like 15 million a year on nil. And that's just hard to compete because UCLA and USC are in the same pot. They're in the same region competing for the same people every single time. And UCLA's not ponying up the money, and USC is, and that's bad news for UCLA. Not that I think that I think Deshaun Foster's a great coach. I just think you can't win these days unless you spend money. South Carolina's had a great transfer portal class, but they had 3 guys they couldn't pay more than other schools, or else they would have had an elite transfer portal class. They just couldn't do it, which probably suggests South Carolina won't win a national championship until they decide to pony up that kind of dough, which they're not doing right now. East Carolina at North Carolina State. And why this is so cool, this is a rematch of the bowl game that we just saw, in which East Carolina won. Chris, who wins this game?
Fuck the Wolfpack. Fuck the State fans. Give me ECU.
He's going with the Pirates. What about you, James?
I mean, I'll say this. For a few years, East Carolina has been a very slept-on kind of team as far as college football goes.
Winning 3 games a year. That's why.
Yeah. Very true. Very, very true. They've had some good seasons, though. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, yeah. East Carolina's had some really balling seasons, especially when Skip Holt was there. I won't deny that either, but continue on.
Having said that, though, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Wolfpack.
I got you. Terry.
Give me East Carolina.
So I struggle with this because bowl games are not good measuring sticks because you have people that's preparing for the draft, people that's sitting out bowls, and you can't. It's hard to measure, right? The problem for me is nothing North Carolina State showed me last year with by the way, they had number 9 as far as talent evaluation goes. So they had the 9th best talent in all of college football and put that shit up. That's a problem. That's a coaching problem. And ECU's coach, man, this guy was out there. He won 4 games last year. They had no business winning. That's a fact. The problem is the talent level is so different. North Carolina State's so much more talent, and it's at home. My heart says East Carolina, but my head says the Wolfpack. But NC State's in bad shape right now. If you have a top 10 talent class and you can't win games, that's a problem. And it's not like you're playing good teams week in, week out, bro. You in the ACC with that kind of talent, you should at least be 10-2. But our final game, this one was really hard for me because I have no fucking idea. Cal was asked, Oregon State was asked, and I have no idea what they have coming in. Chris.
So Cal has signed Ohio State backup quarterback Devin Brown. They've gotten better each of the last 2 years. I have nothing to believe that Oregon State's getting any better. I think Cal gets a win here.
What about you, James?
Yeah, look, I'm going to go ahead and take the Jack Harlow route. Oh, I dated the girls in Cincinnati. Yeah, I'm going to take Cincinnati. Look, College Game Day was hosted at Cal, and, we had Marshall and Lynch there. Pat McAfee was doing their, battle cry and everything like that. So I'm going to have to go ahead and go with Cal.
Okay, good. Because you said Cincinnati at first, and I was confused. I'm like,
no, hey, I'll send the video in the group chat.
I was like, wait a minute.
Bro, Jack Harlow's predictions were absolutely crazy.
So both of you got Cal. Okay. What about you, Terry?
I'm going to take Cal this one because I don't see Oregon State. I think they're at a standstill right now. I don't see them either getting any worse or getting any better.
So Cal had a very good season in the ACC. And the ACC was better than I thought it was going to be, but still not great. And Cal had some head scratches. However, Oregon State is super ass. Not only are they super ass, they have a bigger problem than USC and UCLA because they're recruiting against Oregon and Nike. They aren't getting anybody. Oregon said they'll pay anybody anything, just come here. That's what Nike owner told them. I will pay the highest. Nothing about that bodes well for Oregon State. Do it. Nothing.
I blame their sponsor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Cal is the hell out of Oregon State. I agree with all three of you.
I think Oregon State still uses Puma.
Look, they couldn't even get Puma to sign them. What you talking about? Ain't nobody touching that.
It hasn't been cool since the 90s.
Hey, look, I had some Pumas. But time for our final segment.
I know that I can't take no more. It ain't no lie. I wanna see you out that door, baby. Bye, bye, bye. I don't wanna be a fool for you. Just another player in your game for two. You may hate me, but it ain't no lie, baby. Bye, bye, bye.
I love it. Just so you know, I said it last week that it may be, but unfortunately, I got a message before the show from Facebook. That will be, but one more time, one more ride. That will be the last time that I'm able to use that. The message that they sent me was pretty clear. They don't appreciate me using that, so I just read it and didn't have time to change it. So Facebook, that'll be the last time I use it. And that's sad because it just goes so perfect with it.
Going 98 Degrees next?
They probably don't recognize that music, so maybe so. Because I don't know any songs from them, although I do know the band.
They were the third wheel of the three boy band mashup.
Yep.
I bet they made a lot of money,
Backstreet
though.
Boys, 98 Degrees.
They probably made some money. I would have done it. Let's make some money. Terry, final thoughts.
Well, I'm gonna kind of quote, but then change some of the word up on a vintage ECW sign, and I'll go ahead and quote it here. If the NFL lets the Chiefs three-peat, we riot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's no way they should have made it this far.
Facts.
I don't care what anyone says. Those roughing the passer calls and all that nonsense. You can't call roughing the passer when the two defenders collided with each other. And he was a runner.
Troy Aikman was over that bullshit.
Yeah. And that is my closing thought.
Yeah, that's crazy talk.
I'll send you the 98 Degrees song, though, if you see what you think about it.
But before we go to next final thought, it's crazy talk that the NFL is openly cheating in front of everybody and nobody's saying anything about it. That's crazy. Openly cheating.
Literally.
Literally. Final thoughts, James.
All right. So we obviously had a great time tonight on Thursday, but guess what? Tomorrow is Friday. Be sure to check out the most uncut, unfiltered, and uncensored sports talk show you will find on social media. We got a great first portion of the show. We got a great second portion of the show, and we're going to close it out with the conference championship predictions. You're not going to want to miss it. On top of that, baseball season is on the horizon.
It is. So I work tomorrow night till 10 o'clock, but I want to get in on this conference predictions. So if you could send me a message about 5 minutes before you do it, I'll take my break then. And because I do want to appear on the show. I love No Mercy, and I definitely want to do my picks.
Yeah, I got you, dog.
All right, thank you. And from Matt's comment earlier, it seems like he's going to be on the show tomorrow because he said see you tomorrow night. So I'm excited about that.
Let's do it.
Chris, final thoughts.
So final thoughts. I'm gonna take you down a path I talk about a lot of times. If you are experiencing difficulties in your life and you need somebody to talk to, please reach out to somebody. My inbox is always open. I know Andrew's inbox is always open. If you don't feel comfortable talking to one of us, use the suicide hotline 988. And from there, I'm going to turn it over to this. You can catch me live tomorrow night on the Golden Boot. We took Monday off because of the national championship. We're doing our year-end review of college football, and that will be spectacular. On the side, I'm working on my Facebook group, College Baseball Smack. I'm working on our preseason top 25 poll. That will be completed by the end of the night, and my guys in the admin chat will see what that's all about. Currently, we had 9 people submit polls. Currently, I've calculated 6 of them, and we have 38 different teams that have received votes for the top 25 among 6 people.
That's cool.
It's amazing. This is so much fun work. It's a labor of love, and hopefully y'all check us out.
So, Chris, would you like me to make a graphic for the group top 25?
Yes.
I'll do that, and I'll post it on Villains for everybody to see, because I am a voter in said poll. So I enjoy college baseball too. But with that being said, I want to thank you all. You catch us Monday night on Legends of the Squared Circle. You catch us Wednesday on Divine Battleground. We had a show last night, man. It was amazing. I poured my heart out. Poured his heart out. It was really cool. Friday, No Mercy Sports. Sunday morning, Game Day Countdown with Mac and James. Sunday night, the Football Frame of Mind. Dean, our guy Dean at Iowa Hawkeye Sports, who knows what he's going on. He's more of a, after a game, I want to do a recap. So it could be on at any time with that. And Hawkaholics will be back for baseball season. I think I have confirmed. So they will be back on Wednesday night. Normally, I do a set by myself and take everybody else off. That's not what I want to do today. I want to end the show, as always. You're watching College Sports Villains, only on the Villain Media Network. John 3:16.
Your best behavior, turn your best